guest, one of our best customers. Anna is the director of e-commerce at Carhartt, and she and her team wrestle with this issue of data, how to put it to effective use in engaging customers, and engage them in innovative ways every single day. Please welcome Anna Paul. Hey, how are you?
Good.
Welcome. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. Always. So we're going to talk to you about insights and data and effective engagement. But before we do that, there's one other thing we wanted to do, right? Carhartt is a leading apparel company focused specifically on really outdoor work clothes. But what they've realized recently is they've become incredibly popular with millennials. They're a fashion statement. So we also not only wanted to talk about Carhartt, but we wanted to show off a little bit what we can do with our IBM Digital Commerce offering. That's our SaaS e-commerce offering that we introduced middle of last year. So what we're going to do for you today, as we talked about, is we are going to take a little bit of a risk here. We are going to build a microsite on the fly that is specifically targeted to millennials. And by the time we get done with this session, we're going to show how it's published and ready to go, and you can start selling.
That's fantastic. And here's the content you asked for.
All right, awesome. And we said one thing we're going to do, right? We want to keep the buzz going, so we're going to limit sales to no more than 3 hats per person. We're going to do this around your hats, no more than 3 hats per person, right?
Perfect.
All right, Liho, you ready?
Yes, Steve. Okay, guys, put your coding hats on.
All right, the Carhartt coding team is ready. They're going to work as we sit here and we talk a little bit more about insights and engagement. All right, so just let's start simple. Tell us a little bit more about you and talk a little bit about Carhartt, what Carhartt does.
Sure. So I'm our director of e-commerce at Carhartt. Carhartt, for those of you who do not know, we were founded in
So that's good. So you've been around for a long time, you're a very well established brand, but the world keeps changing, right? So let's talk a little bit about.
So, ich bin live mal eine Mikroseite erstellt und gleichzeitig eine Marketingaktion für Hüte, für Mützen. Wir sehen ja auch Carhartt wunderschöne Mützen.
So everyone you talk to, and us included, right? We always want to make sure we're delivering the right message, the right product, at the right time to the right person. And it sounds really easy because you have all of that data, right? So you should be able to easily take a look at it and personalize the experience for consumers, be able to easily understand where the trends are so that we capitalize on it. But it's not that easy. And then what we found at Carhartt is prior to implementing Commerce Insights is that we had a merchandising team that was going into 6 or 7 different systems. And so they were looking at sales, they were looking in web analytics, they were going into our ERP to see what our inventory was. They were partnering with our planning to see where we were on plans. And then they were doing lots of VLOOKUPs, many VLOOKUPs. And at the end of the day, they spent about one full day trying to pull together all of that data. And at the end, they could roll it up in a category to be able to answer what was working or what wasn't working, but really couldn't get down to the detail to be able to say definitively, here are some products that are trending for us and why they're trending.
Okay, good. So a lot of typical conversation, right? We hear that from a lot of clients, the same sort of story. Since you started using Commerce Insight and the AI that's embedded into Commerce Insight, you've been using it now for 4 or 5 months, something in that range. How has it changed things for you? How has it allowed you to better understand the data and to start engaging in a different, more innovative way with your customers?
So Commerce Insights, I will say, is the miracle tool for our merchandising team. So we just hired a new merchandiser. She came to us from Nordstrom's, and I was sitting down in my office and I'm showing her the tool. And I'm like, this is the one place you get to go now. This is bringing in all of your analytics. This has our sales plan in it. My goodness, we can see what our inventory position is, and not only can we see the inventory position, is we can tell you the percentage of SKUs that are available within that. Because as you look over at a pair of pants that one of our IBM colleagues is wearing over there, that might have 200 different SKUs in it. And if I see I have an inventory of 1,000, that really doesn't tell me anything. I might only have 1,000, some of those oddball sizes, and I don't want to push it to a top. But now our merchandisers can very quickly and easily go into that tool, not only see what's trending, see where we are from an inventory perspective, move things around, and really better deliver on that promise to consumers.
That's great. So Russell, you got that miracle tool, right? We're going to have that in the marketing next week. As you get deeper into this now, it's only been a few months, but you start to delve deeper into the offering, you start to use the AI more. Where do you see this potentially going for you? And what's the art of the possible?
I mean, the art of the possible is really taking the time for our merchandisers to be more strategic, right? And it's also allowing them to see the trends and using Watson to be able to identify more quickly what's trendy. Because what one person can see in a few hours, you have Watson out there that's seeing it immediately. So for example, the other day we had our winter clearance sale and it was ending, and so we were moving all those items into a different section of the site. And what Watson told us was the next day is that whole section, you just saw your sales drop 40% on those products. And yes, our merchandisers could eventually have gotten to that. They would have gotten to that following Monday, but it was really powerful because then they were able to tell right away what the impact on that sales was. And most importantly, we sit by our chief brand officer, and he loves to pop by. He loves to know what's working, what's not working, and now our merchandisers can pull it up in a beautiful graphical interface and very confidently be able to answer his questions.
So we talked about that a little bit the other day, and it's interesting, right? How is having this tool now kind of changed the confidence, the morale, and the way your team approaches their job each day?
You know, they feel very energized, you know, so, which is wonderful because now you're not spending all the time trying to find the trend. You know what the trend is, and then you can start reacting on it. So we have regular team meetings where we'll get our content team, our UX team, our advertising teams together, and our merchandising team really leads that to be able to say, this is what's trending, this is what we need to be able to do. And in the past, those conversations were coming late. So for example, if you ever saw the movie Interstellar, so one thing, we don't pay for placement of any of our goods, but people a lot of times want our goods, and so we do give that to them. And Matthew McConaughey was wearing one of our jackets, which was wonderful. And we've had in many movies, but a lot of times the product doesn't necessarily trend. And we were suddenly seeing that the jacket that he was wearing was going off the charts. Now, this was before we had Commerce Insights, so it took us about a week to be able to recognize that trend because it started happening on a Tuesday. Of course, we didn't go into the analytics to that following Monday. So now, with Commerce Insights, we're able to see that trend real time. Not only can we boost our inventory position, but we can also boost where we have the content to advertise it on the site.
That's awesome. So overall, I mean, you said miracle tool. You must be pretty happy, right?
I'm really happy about it.
That's awesome.
I'm really happy.
Awesome. So we're looking forward to working more with you and just driving this further. Anna and her team have helped to shape the offering as well. So you've been an awesome partner. Thank you
All right,
so much. Seriously, Russell, miracle tool in print by tonight. All right, so where are we going with insights? Anna mentioned inventory a couple different times, and inventory is something we think is really important. It has the potential to be a differentiator for companies who leverage the power of it when they use it to engage. So we're going to go deeper in terms of what we provide around inventory inside our insights offering. We're going to take a product and go down into its variants, into its colors, into its sizes, into where it's located in a distribution center or maybe stores that you're using as mini distribution centers. So you can really start to do different things. Imagine if you're a merchandiser who wanted to do an online fashion show and you wanted to sell out certain items before the season changed, they had to go to markdown. But you don't want to invite just everybody. You want to invite your best customers, but only those customers who wear the sizes that you have left or who tend to buy the colors that you have left. You don't want to invite everybody and frustrate them. Because you have this sort of inventory information at your fingertips, you can get very innovative in how you actually approach that problem. That would be really cool. And because we want everybody, we're very democratic at IBM. We're blue, actually, just talking about that. Because we want everybody to benefit from our insights offerings, we're actually working to make it workable, Commerce Insights workable with other e-commerce engines. We started to work with our partners. The first is Zilker, a terrific partner of ours, and they have actually built out a connector that allows Commerce Insights to plug into the Magento e-commerce engine, and you get all the rich benefits of our Commerce Insights offering. As we move through the year, we're working with other partners to develop similar connectors for the Salesforce Commerce Cloud and for SAP Hybris. So again, the idea here is to be very democratic in our use of insights and really allow visual merchandisers, online merchandisers, regardless of the e-commerce platform they utilize, to take advantage of the type of things that Anna just described she and her team do. Now, another huge push for us in 2018 is going to be to extend this idea of insights to beyond just merchandisers. Merchandisers aren't the only ones who need to be well informed and to take meaningful, confident actions. We also have a market-leading order management product. And we want fulfillment professionals who work with that product to be able to have the same sort of insights that merchandisers do, but with data that's important to them. So this is going to be part of a complete overhaul of our OMS front end. The tooling, the metrics in the reporting, will be incorporating AI in so that fulfillment professionals can be innovative in their part of the process. And they need to be, because the fulfillment part of the process is more important than it's ever been before. Customers like myself, customers on the B2B side, they're evaluating brands in large part and in growing part on their ability to fulfill. I know I am, and I want my orders fulfilled in an increasingly more complicated set of ways. So imagine when a fulfillment director can have information at their fingertips that'll let them do something like realize there's a series of snowstorms coming in the Northeast unexpectedly, like there were last week, and they're concerned that their workers aren't going to be able to very effectively get into the distribution center or the stores that they're using to fulfill. And he wants to quickly shift orders to fulfill out of another part of the country. Now, it might be a little bit more expensive, but at the same time, it'll keep his customers happy, and that's most important to him. Or imagine if during the holidays, when things are starting to get backed up, he wants to use Uber or Lyft to deliver to his top customers to keep them happy. This is the way that we can actually use fulfillment to be more innovative in how we engage. And when we do this, you see the 1, 2, 3 up here. We're going to not only provide the data, but we're going to go 2 steps further than that. We're going to provide reasons why, root cause reasons why whatever the system is seeing is happening. And we're going to go further than that. We're going to actually give recommended actions so that if it's something good that the system is seeing, you can have ways to further that goodness. If something bad is happening, you'll have ways to be able to correct it quite quickly. All right, so I'm going to go on. I'm going to talk about something else in a second, but before I do, guys, how are we making out over here?
We are doing good, Steve. Let me show you what we've got. Of course, if we don't have hardware problem.
Turn it off and on again.
So it's just a matter of turning the TV on.
Okay, so we have 2 developers here, Tom and Sean. So first we had to add them to Carhartt tenant to be developers. Luckily it was very easy to do because we have a self-service tool for ITC where you can manage your developers, where you can manage your roles. You can also do essentially everything that implementers need to do in this tool. So in this case, Sean needed to load the product data for the hats that Anna gave us. So maybe Sean, you can show this. So this is the data load job that you can see in this tool. Of course, the timing is in UTC, which I believe translates to just a few minutes back. So all we need to do is to essentially run it from here. The data is loaded. We also put a little bit of smartness in our code, or a lot, since we are IBM, to actually associate the data that we are loading with properly tagged content in the Content Hub. And the data is loaded in the system. So because it was quite easy and fast, Sean also started working on the programmatic customization using our XC programming model on his Eclipse SDK on his Mac to limit the number of items that you can add to the cart when you add hats to the cart. And in the meantime, Tom is working on branding the homepage, but we'll show it to you in a little bit.
All right, okay. Awesome, making good progress. So far, so good, because this worried me, right? This was a risk, but we're doing okay. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled program here. We were talking about how we engage with customers and how we're innovative in doing that. Let's talk about how you go from the insights and you actually start to action those insights, because that's the purpose of it. And let's talk about content. Let's assume that whatever the insight was that you were able to get, you want to do something with your content. And when you get innovative with content, it's where you get to what we call experiential commerce. And this is critical because experiential commerce is what differentiates your brands from those no-frills, price-based, transactional-only websites. And we all know who they are. And I'm not talking about just Amazon. There's plenty of others out there as well. But you've got to keep in mind that your websites represent areas of interest, and each of those areas of interest is a passion for some segment of the audience. It could be cycling, it could be hiking, cooking, reading, travel, pets, whatever it is, your sites represent an area of passion. And we need to help mine that and create these deep immersive sites with you, leveraging content in innovative ways so that customers keep coming back to your sites. And not just when they want to buy. No, not at all. We want them coming back every single day for a half hour or an hour because they're learning more about their passion. They're becoming experts in their passion. They're communing with other people who share that same passion. We want your sites to be the modern day equivalent of the magazine people used to subscribe to about their passion. So how do we do that? We do that with something we call Watson Content Hub. And last year, when we were at Amplify, we talked about soccer.com. They were a brand who really embraced this idea. They had brought information about soccer matches from around the world into their transactional site and used that to help drive more sales. When we introduced Content Hub at the very end of 2016, and when we did, we came out with our first edition of that. It was specifically for headless content use cases, a trend that we see growing in the marketplace. And when we're at Amplify, we demonstrated this product and we talked about its Watson cognitive tagging capabilities, a huge time saver. When you think about how much content is growing, how much there really is for people to deal with this important task of tagging, but how mundane and how much time it takes, this was a huge benefit. We also talked about the seamless integration we have between Content Hub and our IBM Digital Commerce offering, the one that the guys are building the microsite on right now, so that merchandisers can have a seamless ability to have best-in-class content capabilities and best-in-class commerce capabilities. As we moved through the year after Amplify last year, we came out with our second edition, which is our Sites edition. It allows you to build, publish, and manage sites using out-of-the-box templates or templates that you add. We also extended our integration so that we integrated Content Hub with our marketing tools so that marketers could innovate and collaborate with their merchandising peers, and in the same seamless, out-of-the-box manner. Where are we going this year? What are we going to focus on in 2018? Let's talk about video. Video is the way people communicate today. This is one of the key ways people communicate, especially people a little bit younger than me. It started, maybe a dozen years ago with YouTube, but now it's Facebook and text messages and Snapchat and Instagram, keep going down the list. Video is the way people communicate. And if you're going to have an innovative site that really pulls people in and gets them coming back all the time, we need to find ways to work together to innovatively use video. So we're going to put a lot of time and attention on this in 2018. And when we do it, we're not going to be like a lot of content providers who focus mostly on text and images and keep video off to the side for third-party players to deal with. No, we're going to build it right into our offering. And we're going to do two things when we do this, two real key focus areas. One is that we're going to extend our Watson cognitive tagging capabilities to video. We're going to take advantage of new video recognition capabilities that Watson has to be able to tag those videos. And each tag will have an individual timestamp on it, so you can go directly to the characteristic or the item that's being described in that tag, saving you time and giving you more time to actually innovate. The other thing we're going to do is we're introducing video streaming capabilities in the Content Hub. Think about this. Think about if you're a cooking site or a houseware site, and you wanted to live stream a cooking class. And during that class, you're taking questions so people aren't so intimidated by the recipe and they're really getting engaged. And then at the end of the class, you provide the opportunity for customers to click right there on links to buy the equipment that was used to make the recipe and the ingredients that were used to make the recipe. Now, I cook a lot, my wife cooks a lot. That would be awesome. I'd come back for that all the time. That would really get me engaged. So we're going to use video, and we're going to make use of video. We're going to help you make use of video in innovative new ways. This is also something that's really big for B2B. Think about it. B2B products are more complicated. People need to better understand them before they buy to make sure they're making the right buying decision. And they need to understand them after they buy to make sure they're using them properly and they understand how to use them. Video is awesome for that. So this has B2C implications, this has B2B implications. Now we're going beyond video. We're also announcing today a new partnership with Shutterstock. We're very excited about this partnership. What we're going to do is we're going to embed Shutterstock into Content Hub. Specifically, users of Content Hub will have access to Shutterstock's 190 million assets that they have. Images, video footage, music clips, all right there at your fingertips now to be more creative, more innovative in how you engage with customers. And to ensure that you can use these assets in a way that's specific to your business, we're also going to be embedding the Shutterstock image editor as well, to make it really easy for you to get into what you want to do for your brand and make it rich and interesting and engaging with customers. And to put a period here on this whole content section of our conversation, I mentioned before that Content Hub is based on editions. So we're coming out with our third and final edition. The first one was around headless content. The second one was around this ability to build sites. The third edition will be coming out in a few months, and if I were to describe it, I'd say define it based on the idea of multilingual, multi-domain, multifunctional, multi-leveled approvals, right? So for more complex types of sites, more complex type of organizations, this will be the right edition for all of you. And so at that point, we think Content Hub can meet just about everybody's needs out there in the marketplace. All right, before I go on, guys, do another check.
Yes, let's do that.
Still going well?
Fingers crossed.
Don't shake. Why are you shaking your head?
So Tom literally just finished. So this is a branded homepage. The images are coming from Content Hub that were uploaded there. And also in the bottom you can see the catalog imagery and catalog information for the heads that we want to sell.
It's looking good, right? And definitely now, Anna, how do you think? Looking good?
Love it.
All right, so specific to millennials, right? You can take advantage of this new opportunity. Your business is growing like leaps and bounds. This is good. All right, guys, so far so good. All right, so far I've talked about engaging customers and being innovative in ways that really deal with the digital side of the equation or the e-commerce side of the equation. And I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about how do you now connect this to the other part of the omni-channel world, which is the physical or the store. Because really at the end of the day, omni-channel is the digital and the physical. And we've done a lot in the past couple of years to help bridge those two and allow store associates to gain value because they're being more innovative in how they can actually communicate and build relationship with customers that come into the store. And we know that's a problem with shrinking foot traffic. So we've done things like put in the hands of the store associates your order history as a customer, what you last searched for online, what items or what terms you may have searched for, what you may have put into a wish list. We've also put in the hands of the store associates what you added to your online cart. So they know when you come into the store what you were looking at, what you were that close to buying, and then maybe they can help to complete the sale. Now, where we're going in 2018 is we're going to extend that idea of the cart. Think about this. How often do you walk into a store, you buy a couple of items, but then you actually see a couple other things you like, but I'm not sure. Let me think about it. I'll come back. Put your hands up if you come back. Wow, that's perfect. Nobody raised their hand. Wow, that's better than I planned. Nobody comes back. Lost sales. Not anymore. What we're going to do when we come out with this capability is a store associate is going to be able to take those items that you were considering, put them in your online cart. So when you go home at night or when you're looking at your mobile device, they're sitting right there for you. Now think about your marketing teams. What do? They send follow-up emails saying, hey, remember, Steve, that you had this item in your cart. If we get 1 or 2% of those lost sales to turn into real sales, how much would that benefit our brands? Tremendously, right? Tremendously. Okay, we're going to switch gears here a little bit. So far I've talked about things that are really about how we can work together to engage, how we can use data and insights to better engage and be more innovative. Anna helped with that. We talked about how we can use content to better engage and be more innovative, how we can actually bridge the physical and the online. But none of that is possible unless the underlying technology is built in a way that your dev people and your partners can actually move quickly and help you to innovate. So we're going to talk a little about what we've done on that front, and to do that I'm going to bring up one of the members of my team. Darin runs our e-commerce business, and he's going to talk to you about what we've done beneath the covers. So Darin Archer.
Thanks, Steve. So an important point. All right, I think we're good. It's probably the pants. An important point. We're trying to accomplish this agility, this speed as business users. But often, we're at the mercy of our developers or the software that they're using. Now, sometimes it's not really what the software can do or can't do, or what the developers can do or can't do. It's how quick it can be done. And in this last year, we've spent an enormous focus on ease and agility that we're trying to demonstrate for you today is real. And it's across the entire portfolio for Watson Commerce, whether it's improvements we're making in our content management capabilities, order management, engagement in the store, fulfillment with the e-commerce experience. This is a primary focus for us so that we can allow all of you to operate at this time scale of Twitter and Instagram and respond with experiences and campaigns that meet that. We also recognize that to accomplish this, you do need some underlying infrastructure changes. The platforms have to change. And in many cases, SaaS has become a part of that and is now the de facto mode of deployment versus on-premise. And we are now a SaaS first group. And we recognize that many of you will have different paces on that journey, and we're going to provide you choice for that across the platform. So now I want to go in a little bit deeper on e-commerce and what we've been working on there to bring this capability to life. So in the last couple months, we introduced version 9 of Websphere Commerce that allowed us to unlock a lot of this speed and agility. And to do that, we had to really rethink how the application was structured. We not only needed to modernize some of the technology, but we really needed to modularize how the application was built, decoupling capabilities into business services that then allow various teams to work on them at different paces and with different skill sets. So to begin, we introduced separation of store and search from the core transaction server, which allows you to begin doing things with your developers or agency partners at a speed that you haven't been able to realize in the past. Because in the past, the entire application would have to be deployed and managed for every one of these special projects that you dream up on Sunday. And ultimately, then you'd have to run those big regression test suites and hope you didn't break anything else from the past before you just launched this little campaign thing that you wanted to launch in a time frame, again, that's meaningful in the age of the Twitterverse, right? So we have that set up now for you to be able to make those deployments and move very quickly on that. The other piece is that we have traditionally enabled our business users, our IT users, to create a very bespoke experience, but also have very bespoke business processes and operational aspects of your business through your own customizations. And we wanted to provide that same level of capability and control. And so what we've done is introduced a new programming model where we have you externalize those customizations from the core application. And what this is going to allow you to do is, again, introduce new capabilities for your business that allows you to compete against some of those other shops out there, but do so in a way that as we continue to push innovation faster out the door, you're no longer sitting back 1 or 2 or even 3 versions behind us. You're able to take that upgrade, that innovation from us, and know that it's not going to break the customizations that you've made. With this, we've also introduced some technology changes that have been modernized, how you interact with the database, little things like getting rid of EJBs and moving to JPA, but more importantly, rethinking the application itself introducing Liberty as the application server, and changing that in developer environment so that you have folks, that might be dropping in from an agency or contract resources or even in different parts of your organization. They show up with their MacBooks, right? Traditionally maybe weren't able to do the work that you'd want them to be able to do with our larger development environment. Now they're good to go real easily. The other big part of this around speed and agility has been reducing that total cost of ownership for the platform and making it just a lot faster to deploy and having it be a lot easier to maintain over time. And we've done this by introducing Docker containers. Docker allows us to take our platform and put it into a container, an image, that encapsulates everything from the operating system up to the core application, its libraries, configuration items. Think of the army you have to deploy today to make sure every little detail stays working across environments before you get something deployed to production. The system administrators and database administrators and network administrators. With Docker, all that is packaged up into a container. This allows you to redeploy some of those resources to other areas and start to minimize the cost, but more importantly, also enable you to move to some of these new models like continuous integration and continuous deployment so you can keep up with the speed of the business ideas and what you want to accomplish. And as you begin to explore beyond your own data center, our cloud, other clouds, you can deploy these containers across a number of different places in a horizontal scaling way that's much less expensive than we've required from our application in the past.
All right, so now we're going to interrupt again. Guys, last check. This is it.
Okay, let's do that. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so we got shopping cart page. I like color orange. We have orange hat here. So Sean, I want to buy 18 of those and sell them on eBay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. Okay, I cannot do that. We can only do maximum of 3. Okay, so I'll buy 3. Let's do 3. Okay, we got it. So it works. And Odin, hats off. We are ready to go live.
All right. This is real. So introducing IBM Digital Commerce. These guys have been working on this on a live tenant right here in front of you. And if you want to get more behind the scenes of what they've been doing, we wanted to show you not in PowerPoint slides, but with real working code. They'll be over off to the side of the main stage in a little blackened out area with a bunch of couches after this. So definitely could go in deeper. So what have we been focused on with this IBM Digital Commerce? It really has been about speed and agility, delivering a development environment that allows you to bring on resources quickly, maybe from an agency partner, maybe from other resources in your organization that then don't have to have such tremendous expertise in our commerce application. They can come in, stand up experiences, and even create rules, business rules, that are complex, like the one you just saw, that might limit a campaign, for example, so that one person doesn't buy too many of the hats. It's available today, B2C in Europe and the US. We'll be rolling out B2B later this year. We're also expanding geographically, adding Australia, New Zealand, Latin America, Canada, India, you name it, essentially everywhere where the IBM cloud is. And more exciting is the next generation version of Aurora that'll be built on the Watson Content Hub, allowing a lot of this experience stuff to come to life and provide you even more agility and bring in some of those new features that Steve just brought up earlier. So across the portfolio, we're going to keep this focus on speed and agility, but also continue to offer a seamless customer experience for your users, for your business users, for your developers across this Watson Commerce portfolio. We'll be modularizing more, breaking out some of these components, expanding on them and innovating on them to deliver to this promise. Things like the store experience you saw today, catalog services, pricing, and even real-time inventory visibility capabilities for all of you. So really exciting stuff that we have coming up this year. With that, I'll turn it back over to Steve.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Anna, what do you think? Looks good. All right. Can we get Darin in your next shoot? Can we make him a model for you?
I'm ready to sign you.
He doesn't come cheap, I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, so really good stuff, guys. Great job, by the way. Give a hand for you to pull that off here, Lyle. That was awesome. All right, so what did we try to do here in our short amount of time? And thank you for coming. Everybody's kind of packed out around the edge. It's great to see this many people interested. We've talked for the past couple of years about how we can help you better engage, how you can go from those insights to meaningful, educated, and confident actions. And today we layered on the idea of innovating when you do that so that you can really break through. Hopefully we've gotten your juices going a little bit and thought about how can you use insights to really start that innovation and engagement process. How can you start to use content to really have experiential sites that differentiate and use new assets like video, or what we're going to provide with Shutterstock, and how you can actually bridge online and offline and be innovative with your store associates and help to stem that decline of foot traffic. And hopefully Darin's talked about how we've innovated to ensure that what we do on the dev side, or what your dev people do and the partners do, won't slow down your innovative ideas, that they can move as fast as your ideas move, which we know is super fast. So let's innovate, let's drive some customer engagement, and let's go win some business together. Thank you all.